Okay, so after we went through my presentation earlier in the week, we had discussed me adding more on the marketing side of activities to fully wrap around to make this fully constructivist. So I went in and I added some questions and some things that I think really do add to that. So here it says, this week we'll focus on marketing as a whole, research some campaigns, find out some that you find interesting. It can be a campaign on any social media, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or whatever. It doesn't really matter. Once the campaign is chosen, I ask students to respond, what is the company that you are campaigning about, or the company that is campaigning rather. Do they have any sort of slogan? If so, what is it? Are they trying to sell a product or a service, or what is it that they are campaigning on there? What is the purpose or ultimate goal of this campaign for the company? Who is the general audience that they are reaching out to? Do you think the company gets their point across? Do you think that it's successful? Are there any improvements that you think could be made? If so, what are those? Is there any sort of audience participation involved in that campaign? If so, what is that participation? Would you get involved? Why would you get involved, or why not? Can you find any sort of trends within the campaign or the impact that it had on that ultimate goal? And with your answers, please share some photos, videos, or other media to help support your ideas. Really try to be an advocate for the company. Can you convince classmates to participate? Which we will get into in the next week assignment as well. And then I ask them to respond to 2 others' posts. And if the company they chose, would convince you to buy the product as well. So if we come into the activity, I kind of did my own answer of how I would respond if I was a student. So the student can do down here, add submission. I already did it, so I just click open to the online text. The company that I will be discussing is Tom's Shoes. Their typical slogan is 1 for 1 right here, but the campaign that I wanted to discuss specifically is 1 day without shoes, and they usually do that by hashtagging without shoes. So Tom's main selling point is shoes, but they also sell accessories, bags, glasses, and even more than that. And the main focus is to sell the product, but not just for making a profit. Tom's aims really to make the world a better place and bridge the gap between poverty and the upper class. For every pair of shoes that are bought, a pair of shoes will be donated to a child in need in an underdeveloped company. So that is, the whole idea around 1 for 1. And they do the same with buying a pair of sunglasses. A pair of eyeglasses will be provided to a child in need. So if we discuss 1 day without shoes, the campaign really discusses, 1 day of the year. If you post a picture on Instagram of your bare feet and tag hashtag without shoes, Tom's will donate a pair of shoes to a child in need. That really helps for people who can't afford Tom's, specifically because they are quite an expensive shoe. They range from like $45 to $150, maybe even more. This is the result of the 2015 campaign. I actually think they did maybe a week or more than a week worth to get almost 300,000 shoes provided, which is, I believe, a very successful campaign. And I definitely would participate. I have participated. I own like 12, maybe 15 pairs of Toms. So in that way, I participate in their overall marketing campaign. But from now on, I will definitely join that One Day Without Shoes. And the 2016 date, I believe, is, I have it in here somewhere, May 12th, 2017. So that will definitely be a good thing. And then I just put some websites on where I got these photos from. So that would be one example of getting into marketing. The second example, I really wanted to get more into, rather than being able to point out the marketing, let's do a little marketing. So with the campaign that you chose last week, let's try to expand on it. If that campaign is on only one or two social media sites, then try to find one that it's not on and expand on it there. If it is on a social media already, or on all of them rather, try to interact with them, get your friends involved as possible, interact, post on the campaign's behalf as much as you can. So again, I did my own little post in here. It wasn't as long for this one. I ended up using a Twitter that I created. This was not the initial Twitter that I had created for the Create a Twitter one, but that was fine. I felt that it was better to be more Toms related, so again I used a Toms image. I went in and shared a story about the Without Shoes campaign. I posted myself that the next day is May 12th. I tried to interact. I did it actually with my own personal Twitter, but just to give some viewpoints on what it looks like to interact and getting other people involved. So that is mostly what I did with that. And then, let me see. I also added an extra slide point on here. It's just a matter of getting to that slide. It just really discusses how the e-learning module talks or connects more with constructivism. Okay, so I got this list from Professor Schneider, what the constructivist classroom looks like. And so I went through, here's the questions, here's the answer to the questions, or just a response to them. So begin with the whole, expanding two parts. So with that, I think that my module connected in a way that I began with a learning module, and then I expanded in the activities to get, more experience with them, building the knowledge on how to, rather than the knowledge of what it's all about. Pursuit of student questions. After the module, I had an assignment, what other questions do you have? What else would you like to learn? Students can question each other or comment on each other. So I think that connected there. Number 3, learning is interaction, building on what they know. They interact within the module, and then they build knowledge with the activities after the course, like we said. Instructor interacts with students within Moodle assignments. The submissions, a teacher can provide feedback right in there. That's kind of the best way that the instructor can interact in the type of module that I created. If there's other types of modules in actual live rooms, there's better interaction there in that sense. Assessment via student works, observations, testing, things like that. I have different quizzes provided within the module. Outside of the module, I added the assignments to allow students to show what they've really learned by observing other content and then actually creating content for campaigns, which I think is helpful. Number 6, knowledge is dynamic and changes with experiences. So I think that my assignments really allowed students to kind of go in and do what they want. They were able to choose the campaign that they wanted to follow and expand with a social media of their choice. So different social medias, different campaigns really offers different kinds of knowledge. And then students working in group really, that's more so the assignment asks for students working on the same social medias to interact with each other, so that semi-connects to working in groups. I could have probably done a little better on group work, but given the amount of time, I wasn't fully able to, 100% connect on that. But that is what I have so far. So I'll send this along, and if you have any questions, just let me know. Thanks.